of an 8-year-old who was allegedly lynched by white teenagers have released images of the 8-year-old. Now, his identity is protected, so we are not going to share his identity, but we are going to show you the photo of the injuries that he sustained as a result of these teenagers putting a noose around his neck and pushing him off a table. It is a graphic image. I want to warn you guys before I show you. Let's take a quick look.
Okay, he survived. They hung him, but he didn't die.
He didn't die, yes. Luckily, he survived, but he had to be airlifted to a hospital to undergo an immediate emergency procedure to ensure that he wouldn't die. Now, according to the victim's grandmother, he was playing with a group of children and teens when they began to taunt him with racist epithets and throw sticks and rocks at him. Now, I want to note that there were no adults present. We have no adult witnesses. We just have the account of this 8-year-old. Someone stood on a picnic table and the group wrapped a rope around a nearby tire swing around the boy's throat, then kicked him off the table. The victim swung back and forth 3 times before he was able to free himself. None of the teens came to his aid. So, I mean, I don't know what to say. This is a freaking devastating story. And then, we have a statement from the police chief, which
makes it way, way worse.
Yeah.
Okay, I read the headline of this story and I thought, well, look, wait a minute. Now, his injury looks terrible, but we need more context here. Was it friends and they were goofing around? I remember there was a rope near a lake by our house, and who knows, maybe you goofing around and you get caught in the wrong way, right? Are they friends? Are they not friends? And then how do the authorities react? Do they take it seriously? Do they not take it seriously? We'll get to that in a second. And when you hear the details, no, it's worse than I imagined. So, look, kids have complicated relationships. I remember I used to get into fights with some older kids in the neighborhood, and then we'd coexist. We'd be on the bus, and even sometimes might have not a friendly relationship.
I'm sorry for interrupting you, okay? No, I don't care what excuse anyone makes, and I know you're not trying to make an excuse. I know I just interrupted you in the middle of your thought, but I just have to get this out. These are teenagers, 14 and older. We don't know their identities because they're minors, and the police do not release the identities of minors who are involved in an alleged crime. But a teenager knows that you don't put a noose around anyone's neck and then push them off a table, okay? That is attempted murder. That is not what you do. And they didn't come to his aid. He could have easily died. They were throwing racial epithets in his direction, in his way, prior to putting that noose around his neck. They know what a noose means. They know what that rope meant. I'm not making any excuses for them. I'm not buying into anyone's excuses for them. This is an 8-year-old biracial child, okay?
Okay, so let me go to the police chief's quote on it, and then I'll finish my thought. Mark Chase, Claremont police chief, said, "These people need to be protected." Not the kid who was hung. He's referring to the kids who hung him. He said, mistakes they make as a young child should not have to follow them for the rest of their life. Okay, so now I set all that up in terms of how it could have gone, but it didn't go that way. This case is absolutely clear. Anna's right. So look, we don't need to make it personal, and I hope in order for you to empathize, but I'm going to because it affects me. I have a 7-year-old biracial son. Now he happens to be half Chinese, but the Steve Bannons of the world don't like Chinese people either. Furthermore, it's much worse than that. This is in New Hampshire. I've got a godson who's black, who lives in New Hampshire, who's right around this age. Some 14-year-olds who don't know him hang him from a tree and don't help him. Goddamn right, that's attempted murder. Look, if we don't have justice in this country, it's going to get to a really bad place where vigilante justice begins.
We don't have justice in this country.
And we don't want that. We don't want that under any circumstance. But you start hanging our kids, and then the cop says, we got to protect the kids who did the hanging? Are you insane? Are you insane? Now look, If you say, hey, look, man, come on, have some empathy for the 14-year-olds don't know what they're doing, and they're minors, and that's why we have the rules about minors don't get tried as adults. Then under no circumstances should another black kid in America ever be tried as an adult. We can't have two different systems of justice where you say, no, if it's a black kid, it's a super predator. Let's go throw the book at him. I don't care if he's 14 or 13 or 12. Let's try him as an adult and let's put him in prison forever. But if it's a young white kid in the middle of New Hampshire and three of them hang a black kid and then leave him to die, and then leave him to die. And then I go, oh, poor innocent little mistake. No, people make mistakes when they're 14, not like that. And you say, under no circumstances am I gonna try white kids as adults. Well, then don't try anybody as adults if they're under 18. But you gotta have the same thing. If you don't stop prosecuting black kids as adults and you let them get away with this, no deal. Attempted murder, because that's what it was. Try them as adults or never try anyone in the country again as an adult if they're under 18.